So now let's actually go to the animal class here. So if you don't have the animal class open, just at the top menu, just click on view and then click on solution explorer. So let me actually make this solution explorer a little bit smaller here. Just select it and drag it here. And then you can actually see these files here. So just click on animal class here, right? Let me close it. Let me close this solution explorer. So here I can create a method. So I am inside the curly braces of this animal class. So before the ending curly brace of this animal class, I can say public. And now I need to specify the return type of this method. Again, the return type is going to be void. The name of this method is going to be increase power. Notice that I started my method name with a capital letter, right? And then here just put a pair of parentheses. And this method again is going to actually accept a parameter. So the parameter of this method is going to be of type decimal, right? And the name is going to be power value. And then I just need to open and close this method by using these curly braces. So let's create an if statement. And inside the parentheses of this if statement, I can say if power value is actually greater than 0, then we can actually assign a value to the power property of this animal class. So power assignment operator, power plus power value plus power value, semicolon. So let's create another method here. Again, public void. The name of this method is going to be increase speed. And then I put a pair of parentheses. Again, the data type of the parameter is going to be decimal. Why we are using decimal? Because the data type of the instance variables power and speed is actually decimal, right? So that's why I am actually using a decimal data type for the name of for the parameter of this method, for example, increase speed or this increase power. So the name of this parameter is going to be speed value. And then I just need to open and close this method by using these curly braces. If, and inside the parentheses, I can say speed value is greater than 0, then I can assign a value to this speed property. Speed assignment operator, speed plus. So when I say speed assignment operator, I want to assign a value to this speed property. So it is going to actually assign a value to the speed instance variable. And then we are actually accessing the speed property in order to access the value of the speed instance variable, right? We want to access the current value, and we want to add that current value to the value of the speed value, semicolon. And we are going to assign the result of this operation to this speed property, which is going to be which is gonna call the setter method of this speed property. So now that's it. Let's go to this phone1 class. And now, first of all, we can actually add after this line of code that says a value to this text property of this LBL increased age, we can actually put another line of code here. So again, I'm going to refer to the name of this lion instance dot increase power, right? And then this method accepts an argument of type decimal, right? So I can either pass a value of type integer, because it is going to be automatically actually converted to a decimal value when you actually pass a value of type integer here. For example, if I pass 5, it is going to be converted to a decimal value. And I can also assign a value, for example, a decimal value, for example, 5.6. But here, this increase age method actually needs an integer value. We can't pass a value of type decimal to this method. For example, I can't pass 8.7 as an argument to this method. As you can see, it shows us an error, and it says represents a double precision. So I told you that in order to have a decimal value, you must actually put the letter M at the end of your value in order to actually have a decimal value. And it says represents a decimal number. Argument 1 cannot convert from decimal to int. So this means that the decimal cannot be converted to integer, but integer can be converted to a decimal. So that's why, and here is again, it shows us an error, and this means that we haven't put the M here, and I just need to put a semicolon here. So now the error is gone. Now let's go to the phone1.cs design. Let's add another label. So I can just select this this label 5, and copy and paste another label here. So hold down the Control key on your keyboard and then Control C, copy, and Control V in order to paste. So select this label 5, label here, label 5, and let's open the view and then open this, actually the properties here. So right click here and then click on properties. And for the name attribute here, let's just type in here LBL increased power, and then press on enter key on your keyboard. So now let's actually go to the phone1 class, phone1.cs here, and below this line of code that sets this value as the power of this animal increased power here. So I can actually say LBL increased power dot text assignment operator, and then I can actually access the power property of this lion instance. So lion dot power, and then I need to convert this value to a string value because it is actually of type decimal. So I just need to put a semicolon here at the end of my statement. Let's close this properties window. And here you can see that we have this error, and this error is because of this decimal value here. And so we need to actually delete this M here, this letter M. And now because we passed a double value here, we need to actually change it to an integer value because age property needs a value of type integer. So now let's run our application. So here for the name, I can say lion, and age could be, for example, 50, powers 30, speed 10. So let's click on the show me the result button. So now you can see these values here, and the age is 58 because we added, for example, 8 values here. So you can see that we added 8 values as the age. So we passed age to this method increase age, and we have this value 35.6 here as this actually power. We increased the power here, right? We passed this value to this method, and it actually increased the power value, the power instance variable of this lion instance, right? So that's why you can see this value here. And you can also actually use the increase speed method. So that method is going to be actually a homework for you. So that's an assignment. Use that method and assign and actually increase the speed of the animal and show that value here inside this form. So thank you very much for watching. And if you have any questions about these concepts that I taught you in this lesson, please post a discussion in the course, and then I do my best to answer all of your questions.